Ring Kings Boxing, we in this thing. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all joining us for a late episode of Ring Kings Boxing. I'm Big Q. Recapping this thing, man. Haney gets unanimous decision over Lomachenko, man. It went the distance. And a lot of people upset about this fight, and rightfully so. A lot of people believe Lomachenko won the fight. It was extremely close. It was extremely close. The scores, the judges had it 116 to 112. One judge hit, and two of them had 115, 113. Unanimous decision. I don't think it was unanimous. If anything, it should have been more of a split, if anything. But this was interesting, man, watching this fight. I kind of thought, I knew it was going to be a hell of a fight. The pace was something else. I think as we got closer to the back end of the rounds, Lomachenko came on strong and was trying to show his physicality against the bigger fighter in Devin Haney. And I thought Devin should have been a little bit, kind of pressed a lot more toward the back end of the fight. But Lomachenko, man, was just standing there taking the abuse. Devin Haney punished Lomachenko to the body. He really did. And Lomachenko absorbed a lot of that and was dishing it out. He was hitting Devin with shots. But this was an interesting fight, man, big time. But a lot of people are pissed about this one, man. They pissed about this one. I heard one cat talk about the Rolly Romero fight, how it was stopped, and that was definitely some BS. And this Devin Haney fight, as close as what it was, man, was man, very close, but it damn sure wasn't no unanimous decision, to be honest with you. But anyway, let me show you these punch stats right here, fam. CompuBox punch stats as delivered right here. As you can see, these are the official end of the fight punch stats between both fighters, Mr. Haney and Lomachenko. You can see the total punches thrown percentage-wise, 27% to 22% in favor of Devin Haney. Thrown 405 shots thrown, landed 110, and that's 50%. You look at the 564 thrown and 129 of them landed. You can see that by body shots. The jabs, 250 thrown versus 188 by Devin Haney. 29 landed for Loma, 20 for Devin Haney. 41% on the power punches versus 30% by Lomachenko. 217 thrown by Devin Haney versus 314 by Lomachenko. 90 landed versus 95 by Lomachenko. What's interesting about the fight, like I said, had a very good energy to it, a good feel, a good speed to the fight. But I just thought, man, Devin Haney, man, the bigger fighter here. But man, it was something else. The push that happened yesterday, and you could see Loma had it on his mind, man. He refused to get out physical in this bout several times, wrapping up and grabbing Haney, even one time kind of throwing him on the ground. They got tangled up. But I watched a lot of boxing, man. I'm going to be honest with you. This wasn't even close to a unanimous decision. So it's crazy. Anyway, we'll have the recap. We'll have the recap, the post-fight press conferences coming up soon on the fight. But it's very intriguing, man. But anyway, what do you guys think about this one, man? Let me hear you guys drop it in the comment section. What do you think about it? I know you guys are feeling pretty animated about this one if you've seen the fight. If you didn't see the fight, man, it should be it should definitely be a part two of this fight. The way both of these guys got at each other, it should definitely be a part two to this bout right here. And hopefully Devin Haney will give Lomachenko an opportunity to come back with a second fight, man, to be honest with you. All right, shout out to Jules, man. How you doing, Jules? Thank you for joining us early Sunday. I thought Loma had it. Loma, man, Loma, hey, listen, bro. He turned it up, man. He did, and I gave Devin Haney prior to the fight. I said, man, listen, I thought Devin Haney would come in and just, just out physical Lomachenko. That's how I thought it would go. But credit to Loma, man. He absorbed a lot of the body shots that Devin was hitting him with. Um, Loma was throwing two, three, four, five punch combinations when he had the opportunity to, that kind of flustered Devin. And even though it was a very close fight to call, and that toward the end, I was like, man, my sons watched it, and I said to myself, I said, man, I think Lomachenko got this one. But I would have said by a split decision. My youngest son said, nah, Dad, I think Devin Haney's gonna win. And he was right. But just looking at the fight and how I wasn't taking score of the fight, but just looking at the fight, I was like, man, I think Lomachenko is, going to edge him out for this one and get his belts back. It didn't even happen that way. But I damn sure don't agree with the unanimous decision. That was not a unanimous decision. I don't know what the judges were looking at in this fight. So it's crazy, man. But anyway, yeah, we'll see how it all shakes and goes moving forward, man. But it's intriguing, interesting, man, for this one, man, for the family members that missed it. That Devin Haney retained undisputed lightweight championship with a unanimous decision victory over Vasiliy Lomachenko. He was able to control the first half of the fight with excellent body work, I agree, and one of the boxing's best jabs, prevailing the scores of 116-112 and two 115-113 scores by the judges. Lomachenko closed the fight strong with his trademark flurries, and throughout the fight, Lomachenko was putting on some good work, man, to be honest with you, man. He was putting in some good work. He took some pops, man. To be honest with you, he took some shots from Devin Haney in this one, man. But in the end, it was damn sure not a unanimous decision victory. And hopefully we can get these guys together again for a second fight, because like I said, it was a hell of a fight, man. I loved the pace of the fight. I really did. I loved the pace of how the fight was, how it was going on. It was a little too much clinching for me. The guys was, at points where they were, doing a little too much clinching. But you could see Lomachenko, man, was in good form, man, and he was coming forward a lot of this fight, man. His footwork was there. He was absorbing the punishment from Devin Haney, and I just thought toward the back end of the fight, Devin Haney kind of was, and that's one of the flourish right there. But Lomachenko was not running away from him in this fight. He was coming at him. I just thought that Devin should have, been a little bit more physical, and pressed forward toward the back end of the fight to kind of seal the deal. And he was very fortunate he got this decision, because this really was a really close fight, a very close fight to judge. And like I said, just looking at the fight, not realizing, not taking score of the fight, but just understanding that, man, listen, I think Lomachenko won this one. That's how it was at the end of the fight after I finished watching. I think Loma edged him out. And then a unanimous decision for Devin Haney, says the judges. Jules says boxing. He says it's different. It's entertainment, man. Yeah, it was definitely that, Jules, man. It was most certainly very interesting. It was a very good paced fight. But Devin Haney, ultimately, he gets the victory. That's interesting. But anyway, like I said, we wait for the post-fight press conference from Devin Haney and Lomachenko. I would love to see the second fight. It should be a rematch fight here. It should be a rematch. I'd love to see them go at it again. Because the reality is Devin Haney was having this fight with Lomachenko. This was like something for his legacy, because we know that he feels that he's not getting the respect that a undisputed lightweight champion is supposed to get. He really, and let me pose this question to the family members in the chat. Now, knowing that going into this fight, he's seen it as a fight for his name, for recognition, for his legacy, for respect on his name. Did he get that tonight against Lomachenko? Was he validated in tonight's fight? I would have to say no to that. Right, Jules says it has to be a second fight. Yes, because Devin didn't get what he wanted, man. He didn't get, even though he was given the fight by unanimous decision, which it really wasn't a unanimous decision fight. At the very least, it should have been a split decision. But did he get that? And the answer to me is no. You don't. No, you didn't. You didn't get that respect fight that you thought that you was gonna get. Now if he came in there and dominated Lomachenko and beat him up, battered him, knocked him down a couple of times, none of that happened. Lomachenko was in there. He was taking some good shots, and Devin Haney hit him with some pretty good shots. But Lomachenko wasn't going anywhere. Matter of fact, as we got to the middle and then going toward the end of the fight, Lomachenko was coming forward in the majority of the fight. He was taking the shots from Devin, whether they were body shots or hooks or straights, whatever the case may have been. Lomachenko was coming and returning the favor. So no, Devin Haney didn't achieve what he wanted to get done. If it was about respect, the judges kind of stole a lot of that from him with the unanimous decision call. So they definitely have to be a rematch or a second fight here because, where else does he go? Lomachenko is the guy, a well-respected Hall of Fame fighter. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, one of the most well-respected fighters in the game. Devin Haney definitely got to go at Lomachenko for a second match. And, man, the second one is going to be off the chain, man. He has to do that. It's for the legacy, and he didn't get what he was supposed to do in this fight. Matter of fact, people are going to actually kind of blemish him and leave it a little bit even more so now. They got a little bit more ammunition to say, well, you didn't really beat Lomachenko. They cheated for him and gave him the fight because, listen, like I said before, I watched the fight and I thought when the fight was over with, I wasn't, keeping scores, but just off of energy and the vibration, everything that after watching the fight, I was like, man, that's a close fight. But I think I think Lomachenko edged him out. That's how I felt. Just going through the whole fight. And then next thing you know, bam. So I don't think he got what he wanted. Matter of fact, I know he didn't get what he wanted. It's got to be a second fight that's coming up. So anyway, let me hear from you guys in the room. Please feel free to drop your comments. What you thought about the fight? How do you feel about the fight? Do you want to see a second fight? Man, the last couple of fights, we talk about the Rolling Romero fight, how that ended. That was trash. How that one ended. This one here was a good fight with a bad finish from the judges. The judges just didn't handle the business. I think people wouldn't be as upset if it was a split decision, as them saying, well, we're gonna give it over there to such and such because of this, because it was very close, real close. Anyway, here we go. All right, in a little bit, here we go. And let me pencil. Here come the post press conference here. And listen, really good fight, solid fight, man. Between both fighters, we got to do it again, man. So hit a post press conference. Here we go.
Turn it over.
So, it is what it is. I'm happy. I wanted to. Thank you, Bob. Mr. Bob, you, company top rank, who gave me this second chance. It was unbelievable night for me, for our team. I never forget this night. And see you next time.
Before we get to the media questions, I'd like to kick it over to Loma's manager, Agus Klimas.
And I'm going to say just like it is, this is the biggest robbery in the middle of the day. To put in the place where it has to be. And it has to be a justice, because those judges, when they scoring a completely insane score, they do not understand how those fighters are working hard to get into that place. and then being robbed like that, it's not acceptable. And I guarantee we're not gonna let it go. We're gonna go all the way to the end to appeal, and to maybe we're not gonna win. Maybe it's gonna be as it is. Most likely it's gonna be. But we want to show what it has to be justice.
So now we go to the media questions. We got Gabriel and Steve running mics. Only people that get the microphone ask the questions. Thank you.
I just had one question for Bob and one question for Mr. Lomachenko. Bob, I know it's a tough position for you to be in, but who did you have winning the fight?
What did you say?
Who did you have winning the fight?
I'm a promoter, I'm not a judge. You know, everybody around me scored, was, you know, all the fans around me who were neutral thought it was a pretty one-sided fight for Lomachenko. So everybody was stunned when the judges' scorecards were read. But I'm not going to comment myself because I'm the promoter, and that would be wrong.
And Vasil, my question is this: after 12 rounds, when the bell rang, did you know in your heart of hearts you felt as though you won?
Look, during all fight, I control the fight, and all fight, I understand. I win in this fight. I win in this fight. So for me, of course, it was a big surprise. And then 12 rounds ends. I was sure I won this fight, but it is what it is.
This is for Agus and Vasiliy. Agus, over here. The 10th round seemed to be the clearest round that Loma won in the fight. He won it convincingly. Dave Moretti scored that round for Haney. What are your thoughts on that?
I was the first protested Dave Moretti to have as a judge. And we protested that to commission. And the commissioner told he is one of my best judges. And that proved today again.
Loma, question for you, to your right. Seemed like you know, Keith just asked about the 10th round, but it seemed like you won down the stretch most of those rounds. The judges gave almost all the rounds down the stretch to Devin Haney. How did you see the final end of that fight? And did you feel like coming out after the 11th into the 12th that you needed to fight hard to win?
Yes, of course. Of course, I feel during the fight, I feel I take this fight. I control this fight. I control every round. And for me, it's a big question. What happened in the result today?
Loma, Egis, I spoke with so many fighters, even legends, and they told me this phrase: the boxing needs to be really sad tonight because they mentioned it was like a robbery. What can you tell to the people who still believes in boxing? I'm saying that it's a huge event for the world of boxing. The fans are really sad because of this decision. What can you tell, guys?
Look, we all love boxing. We all respect boxing. Sometimes it's happened. Sometimes it's happened. My father always teach me during life, you need to win without question. Yeah, you need to win without a question. Looks clear fight, but today maybe was not clear fight. Today maybe was not a big domination from my side, but I understand it because it was Haney was not a new guy in the boxing. He is a good opponent, and you don't need to forget he is bigger than me.
This is a question for both Egis and Vasily. What do you hope to achieve from appealing? Is it a rematch you want?
Look, first of all, we're not going to give that rematch. I don't know. No, it's right now you're asking a question like, what you're going to do. So we don't know. We have to see it. We have to talk to promoter. We have to see what is available, and we will see.
I think it was the last fight, Haney in a 135. I think so.
Vasily, we saw the pictures of you in the dressing room crying. Can you talk about how much it hurt to be on the wrong end of those scores?
Then I had a speech. I just remember my son today called me 7 times and every time tell me, hey, and then you, and then you. And in this moment, then I remember this moment. It was very hard for me. And
What's wrong about crying? When you're happy, you're smiling, you're laughing, everybody says. And if you cried a little bit, it's emotions. So I don't think anything wrong here. I cry sometimes too.
Hey, Loma.
We'll cry today, later, not in the camera.
I guess Loma, right here. First of all, I thought you won. I talked to Jorge Linares. He won. He said you won by 2 rounds. Fernando Vargas said you won by 2 rounds. Eddie Reynoso said you won by 2 rounds. How many rounds do you guys think you won by tonight?
I don't know. I can't tell you right now because now it will be not serious from my side because I need to sit down, focus on the fight. To see the fight, and after that I can answer. But in 100%, I don't lose this fight.
Right here in the front. Marcus Hayes with Fight Hub TV. Vasily, congratulations on a good fight tonight. Win, lose, or draw, you represented yourself very well. Let me ask you, late in the bout, you seem to be landing at will. You even look to have hurt Devin Haney at some point in the fight. Did you feel like you were going to be able to put him down late in the bout, or did you think he was kind of playing a little cat and mouse?
Look, I think it was a one moment. I believe in the 10 rounds. I don't remember on 100%, but one time I saw his bad situation. But I understand I need to continue my strategy and focus on my strategy.
Vasily, congratulations, man, on a hell of a performance tonight. Where does Devin Haney rank amongst all the fighters you faced in the pros? Linares, Gary Russell, Teofimo. Where does Devin stack up?
You know what? I want to see the fight Ortiz with Haney. It will be very interesting. But if you're talking about Linares, if you're talking about Lopez, for me, they are better than Haney.
Steven Cordeño, KO Artist Sports, right here, Loma.
Okay, then.
Congratulations, man, on a great fight. Devin was making a lot made of, he was calling you dirty, being that you were fighting on the inside and on the clinches. There was a lot going on the inside. Can you talk about that part of the fight, please?
Today you saw a fight. Did you see some dirty moment during the fight? So it's an answer. No, maybe he tried to play with the mind. Maybe it was part of his plan. But maybe you better ask him what he mean, because I don't understand.
Right here in the back, my name is Kyle Davis from the boxing section. Where do you rate? What do you rate Devin Haney's body work tonight?
I think it will be, from his side, it will be a little bit different. But then he starts boxing from first round. He almost he always still continue do the same. And after that, I understand he can change nothing during a fight. He do always his uppercut, right? I think so, yeah, right uppercut. And you everybody talking about his jab. So today was not his time with the jab.
Bob, I have a question for you. Steve Kim again, right here, Bob.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of talk of protesting, and I've heard for years about the need for a new generation of judges. Why are certain judges so entrenched year after year?
That's a question that should be asked the commission. They appoint the judges. If one side objects to a judge, they generally change them. In this case, they wouldn't change them. It seems sort of strange to me. We have an American fighting a Ukrainian, and all officials are American. I mean, it doesn't happen that way any other place in the world. But again, that's not my pay grade. I'm a promoter, and the commission runs things in Nevada.
All right, one more for Loma.
How you doing, Lomachenko? First of all, great fight. Joseph Sewell, Town Biz Sports and Entertainment. Do you feel you should have tried to maybe hurt him and go for a knockout earlier? And what you would correct if you got a second shot at him? What do you feel that you could have did different to just, sway the judges to go in your favor?
It's a good question. I don't know. Because then I fighting every round. Then I come back in the corner. I understand. Okay, it's my round. And I understand. And then I go in the 12th round. I understand. Okay, maybe I need to a little bit defense, and I can give him this round. I don't need win this round because I was winning another 11 rounds. Looks like I don't say every 11 rounds, but during 11 rounds, I understand it was my score, and I don't know. Maybe I don't understand boxing.
On that note, thank you, Vasiliy, for joining us today for the post-fight press conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Vasiliy Lomachenko, man.
And Devin Haney will be joining us shortly.
Some of his corner people, man. Leaving out where you just want to kind of give Lama. Gotta give him a shout out on that one, man. After you seen pictures of Lomachenko crying in the locker room, and of course he did make mention about Devin Haney. He believed that's Devin Haney's final fight. But that shouldn't be the case, man. After that fight, it should be some pressure on Devin Haney. If it's all about legacy right now for him, the way this fight ended, he should definitely go at Lomachenko for a second fight. And this time around, it's going to be a blockbuster. This was a fantastic fight in terms of the energy of the fight, but it's just the scoring of the fight. It just, defaces it. The judges step in and it defaces the art of it. And then, of course, I show you the cards. These are the cards from the judges for tonight's bout. And as you can see, you heard the reporter bring light to it about Dave Moretti and the fact that Loma's guy, his promoter or his cornerman, was saying that they protested Dave Moretti being a judge here. And he said, see, that's why we were. And one of the rounds that they were talking about, and you can see it's right here, the final round, well, Lomachenko won the round, but as you can see, it's scored for Devin Haney. 116 to 112. So it's, it's and even Bob Abrams spoke on it, a bit, and funny stuff happens. But yeah, it was one of those situations where the judges stepped in and they just defaced the fight, man. It was a good fight with energy. Like I said, I wasn't scoring it. I was just enjoying the fight, watching it, and the natural feel of the fight. After the field was over with, the fight was done, I automatically said to myself, I think Lomachenko edged him out on this one. My son said, no, Dad. But, it was, that's the feeling that I had. But no doubt about it, it was not a damn unanimous decision victory. No doubt about it. Now, what Devin Haney could have did better to kind of get the type of win that he wanted was, you wanted to press on him, getting the best of him or beating up or, being he was the bigger fighter, just imposing that on Lomachenko, and it didn't happen. Lomachenko, in many respects, was more physical than the bigger fighter, and you could see he had it on his mind in this fight. And Loma took the shots, the body shots. He took the hooks, the straights from Devin Haney, was hitting him with some good shots, and Lomachenko kept coming. He kept coming at him. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you see how it ended up, Unanimous decision. Wow. Kind of crazy. Yes. Crazy. So let me hear from you guys in the chat. Please feel free to hit the like button. We're talking about the unanimous decision victory by Devin Haney over Vasiliy Lomachenko, and the fact that, you heard Lomachenko say that he doesn't believe Haney is going to give him the second fight. He believes that this is Devin Haney's last bout here before he moves up in weight, which would be a shame to move up in weight with this over his head if it's about legacy. So I don't know, man. You got to take care of the business. But anyway, we got Devin Haney getting ready to get on the mic next and talk about how you feel about it. But Lomachenko's people, they said they were gonna protest it. They were gonna go against it, And at the end, man, like I said, it's shame, man. So here go the CompuBox punch stats on screen. And it most certainly wasn't a unanimous decision in my book. Hell no. Crazy. What do you guys think, man? Oh, man. But pretty much we done had some pretty good fights, man, up until this point, man. This was a really good one, man. Probably one of the solid fights of the game. It was a very well energized fight from the start to the finish. I think Devin Haney fought well up to a point, and then I don't know if I'm not going to say he wasn't out of condition. Looked like he was in good condition, but you can see at certain intervals of the fight where he was kind of reserving it. He was fighting going backwards. You could see him fighting going backwards in many different later rounds. You can see him fighting backwards. Lomachenko started to put the pressure on him. And Loma dazed him one time. I seen him, he hit him. But when they kind of, gave him a couple of good shots there, a couple of flurries in there. And that's what Lomachenko does, man. They don't give him credit for having a decent chin, but Devin Haney took some good shots from Lomachenko too in the fight. But I just think, man, if it's about the experience of the fight, Lomachenko definitely has him beat there. Devin, in terms of the physical, and I don't even know what to say. They say that he's faster in this fight, but it just, when you talk about ring IQ and experience, and when you're in there with a guy like Lomachenko that has all that amateur experience, it's dangerous. He's a dangerous guy in there, and he wasn't afraid of Devin Haney at all, even though Devin was the bigger guy. Lomachenko was in there grabbing him and wrestling with him, and one time he threw him down, and it was just kind of crazy, And I didn't see a lot of the dirty, like Devin was saying that he's a dirty fighter because he punches off break. I didn't see too much of that. I did see Lomachenko inadvertently punch him in the back of the head. Um, when he was having a flurry and Devin was kind of moving about, he did catch him in the back of the head. I seen the judges warn both fighters for hitting behind the head, but nobody got deducted anything. Didn't get that bad. A lot of clinching. I think for the most part we've seen during the fight a lot of too much clinching for my liking. But outside of that, it was a solid fight with a poor ass score at the end of it from the judges. Yeah, it sucked. All right, Jules, thank you, bro. He says, what sort of state is this going to leave in box? He says it's going to leave boxing in after all the back and forth about the fighting, et cetera, the decision, et cetera. Yeah, it's a problem. It's problematic, bro, to see what's going on in boxing. We talk about like that, boy, in tonight's decision, it wasn't a unanimous decision. Even if Lomachenko would have won the fight, I wouldn't have said Loma won the fight by unanimous decision. I would have more than likely said, that it was a split decision, something like that. But for Devin Haney to win by unanimous decision, that's totally preposterous, man. It's preposterous. And then the Rolly Romero fight, that was ridiculous what the referee did. He stepped in there. So yeah, it's getting sour, man. But anyway, thank you, Jules, for that. Devin Haney's about to step up to the mic, family. And then after we hear from Devin Haney, we'll close out the stream on this one. So they're getting ready to bring Devin Haney, and we'll hear what the champ has to say about it. Perhaps he'll shine some light on this. What I want to hear from him is, will he give Lomachenko, a rematch there? That would be good because, like I said, this was a legacy fight, and Devin, and he talked about that in the pre-fight conferences, the press conferences, and some of the shows. He made mention of the fact that he believed this was a legacy fight, and if he beats Lomachenko, it'll help his name out because he feels like he's not being respected like he should be respected. So a defeat over Lomachenko would definitely fix that. That would be a big win on his boxing resume. Well, guess what? This doesn't help it at all. And matter of fact, to a degree, it worsens it. It worsens it because a lot of people say, "Nah, you didn't beat him, bro. They cheated the man." And then plus, you seen Lama show pictures of Lomachenko crying behind stage and his people protesting the fight. Christine, shout out to you, says truly rigged. Yes, James, indeed. It's the only one thing can happen here, and I'm not looking for some of these boxing organizations to step in, family, and say, well, we're gonna do this, that, and the third. If you know the history of boxing, this is crooked as the day is long. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that comes with the fight. Floyd Mayweather used to talk about cleaning up the sport all the time, when always talking about cleaning up the sport and all this kind of stuff. Well, this is a part of it, and it rears its ugly head at time. A lot of these poor judges and these officials, they don't get in trouble or they don't get kicked off when they're supposed to get kicked off. But it's repugnant. But anyway, here we go. They're about to put Devin Haney on in just a second, so we can hear what they're thinking. But what I'm looking from Haney is, will he give Lomachenko a rematch here? Let's give him a rematch to get it, and that'll be, you talking about a potential fight with Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. You talking about that? If we can get Haney and Lomachenko together in a part 2, that'll be phenomenal, man, and that'll be truly amazing if we can get it. But Haney he should make this right. He should give Lomachenko a second fight. But word on the street is he saying this could be the final fight at this weight, and he's thinking about moving up. I wouldn't do it, man. I wouldn't do it. I have to beat Lomachenko. I have to beat Lomachenko straight up, and I don't think he knocks Lomachenko out. I won't say that because now everything about the two has ratcheted up several degrees. Him pushing on him yesterday in the weigh-in after the weigh-in was over with, and him calling him a dirty fighter, and Devin saying that I'm gonna end his career. None of that happened. So we need a second fight to kind of ferret this out after the foolishness we seen tonight in the matchup. So it's crazy. All right, thank you, Jules, man. Appreciate you too, man. Thank you, bro. Yeah, this is crazy, man. It's insane, and people are tired of it, man. People are tired of watching this type of stuff occur all the time. And like I said, I was looking forward to this fight. It had good rhythm, good harmony all the way out. It was a very, very close fight, very difficult fight to judge. And like I said, I wasn't taking any, I wasn't writing a scorecard. I wasn't doing all that foolishness. At the end of the fight, just off of what I'm looking at from the ring and the feel of it, I said, I think Lomachenko got him, edged him out. I said, Loma about to get those belts. And if it had happened like that, then we could have had, I knew Devin would have had a rematch clause in that agreement, which he would have been able to trigger to get the rematch the right way. But when him holding the belts now, and I don't know, fam. I don't know how it ends up. I don't know how it ends up. So what do you guys think? What are y'all thoughts on this, man? Yeah, a lot of people I'm seeing in the comment section, a lot of people saying that it's a cheating. All right, shout out Ted. He says Oscar used to be my man when it come to boxing, but he got his, you know what, handed to him. But yet the judges gave it to Oscar, and I haven't watched boxing since until tonight. And oh man, oh yeah, Ted, how about that? After all these years, I see it tonight again. He says why boxing is a joke. Pay-per-view, never get another dime of my money. It's an embarrassment. We better than this. Sad night. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Major problems, man. Major problems in the fight game. Major problems. When we finally, you know what, the really disconcerting part about it is when we finally be able to get some of these fights. We get some of the fights that we really want, because most of the time the promoters kind of steer some of these fighters away from each other so the fight doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And we finally get two really good fighters together. We get Lomachenko, even though they're saying he's an older fighter and all this kind of stuff. He's in great shape and a slick master boxer. And you get Devin Haney, who's at the top of his game right now. And it's just, it goes to show you the levels in this stuff, because it was points in time when you can see they were filling each other out the first maybe 1 or 2 rounds. And then they started to exchange, and you could see Devin knew that Lomachenko had a little pop on him. His punches had a little pop to him. You can see Devin's face during the, when they between rounds when he was talking to Bill, and you can see his face was, was red. You kind of could see that, man. Yeah, there's something else. How do you, if you're Devin Haney, how do you prepare for a Lomachenko? You could try to talk you're not going to talk him out of his game. That's just not what you're going to do. You're not going to talk a Lomachenko or a Manny Pacquiao out of their games. You're just going to piss them off and make them level up. That's what Thurman found that out, right? I'm going to end it. Matter of fact, he said the same thing. Thurman said I'm going to end his career, and that pissed off Pac-Man, and Pac-Man kind of went back in the time machine on Thurman. He didn't know what hit him. But this fight, how do you prepare for a Lomachenko if you're Devin Haney? Because you can see in the fight that Devin Haney out, and it's just a different level of how you dealing with a slick fighter like Lomachenko in there. And Devin got some good shots on Lomachenko. Him resituating himself, you can see the movement of his feet. And then, of course, Loma's known for punching from various angles and just ring control. And it was a different fight. I was looking from Lomachenko. He was more not trying to run away from Devin Haney. He was actually the aggressor in this fight. It's crazy. But he was showing them, listen, I could take whatever you can dish out. And I can only imagine what the second fight gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Rice says he's BL and Robbie, not just a target. Whoa, geez. All right, yeah, it's intriguing, man. And like I said, I'm watching a lot of commentary, man. They were very upset about this, man. Jules says this is why it was a good matchup. It should be judged fairly. Loma's the most seasoned vet I've ever seen. Yes, he has his flaws and weaknesses. Yeah, but I didn't see a lot of flaws and weaknesses from Lomachenko's game tonight. He's fighting a bigger fighter who a lot of people believe is stronger. And he was in there out physicaling Devin Haney, grabbing him and, and kind of slinging them around, several times, showing them like, listen, I'm kind of strong here. I'm not gonna let you impose your will on me. So I just want to hear what Devin Haney has to say about this, man. They're taking their sweet times getting up here to the podium to talk about it. I wonder what's going on, but it'll be interesting to see exactly what goes on here. They're saying it's supposed to be, word on the street, supposed to be his last fight at this weight class, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it after tonight. I would line up a rematch with Vasiliy Lomachenko as soon as I could. And maybe something before the end of the year, and let's do this thing again. And then after that, then I would kind of, say I'm moving up in class after that, that's just how I look at it. But I don't know. It's not just him. It'll be his management team and the rest of them talking about it. Yeah. Yeah. And if that's the point too, Jules, it could be the fact that if he says it'll almost be, if he's as prideful as I think he is, and Devin Haney's a very proud guy, he really cares about his name. You listen to him talk about it, how it was almost like Errol Spence. I kind of compared to what Errol Spence said about Keith Thurman when he wanted to fight Keith Thurman back in the day, and Keith Thurman was looking past him. And now that he has the belts, Keith Thurman wants to fight with him, and he told him that, man, you'll never get this fight. You'll never get, because he knew Keith Thurman would. It's kind of the same thing to a degree, because he was saying Lomachenko, when he had the belts, he was trying to fight him, and Loma wouldn't even consider it. He wasn't a serious thing. And he's telling him, I gave him a shot. But really this is all about name and legacy, man. People are not respecting Devin Haney as a champion. And it will be matter of fact, it'll be even worse for him tonight if he don't go back into the fight game and look at it. So based on what we hear from him today and how we'll know exactly how he feels about it, because if he says, now we're going to move past it and I'm going to move weight, that could be misinterpreted as him running away from Lomachenko. And that wouldn't play well for his legacy either. So we'll see how it all shakes and goes, man. Right. It was a good fight. It just stink, man. It's just the stinky, rotten ass judges, man. These damn judges. These underhanded, rotten, damn judges. So anyway, what's the next fight you guys are looking forward to? Put it in the chat, man. Let me know which fight y'all guys are looking at. What's the next fight you guys want to see? What's next? We know they have a lot of stuff that's going on with the next fight. We'll be looking at Tank Davis, maybe, which coming up soon. Errol Spence, particularly. I don't know. They keep talking about late July, I believe, this year for Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. That's one I really want to see, to be honest with you, fam. That's a really good one. I would love to see. Hopefully, we don't have no foul play with the judges in that. And no robbery going on with that, even though I think that'd probably be one of those fights where you'll see it multiple times. That's a fight that you'll actually get maybe 2 or 3 fights out of. It won't be the one hit or quit a situation here. And Lomachenko gets the belts back. That triggers the rematch. So, we might have had a little bit more clarity tonight had that been the case. At least we'll have a rematch so they can ferret it out, because this one was really too close to call in many cases. But yes. So very intriguing, man. Very interesting to see how it goes. The heavyweight class also, you want to talk about frustration, man. Another class of another foolishness between some fighters is the heavyweight Tyson Fury, and we can't get him and Alexander Usyk together so we can get something smoking and cooking with that. I don't know what's going on with these folks, man. I just want to see the best fights that we can see. And some of these guys, they don't want to fight each other, man. They don't want to fight each other. So I don't know. So yeah, that's a couple of the next really good ones coming up. We know Charlo's getting ready to fight again. He's supposed to be getting back into the ring. So it's crazy, man. But in the end, yeah, we'll see, fam. That's all we got to look forward to. All right. All right. So anyway, it's getting kind of late. It's one. We're gonna have to revisit this at another time. But listen, Jules says, I want to see Fury and AJ purely for entertainment value. I think Fury takes it. I agree with you, bro. I don't think AJ is the same dude, bro, no more, you know. I remember watching interviews from him when he was undefeated. He said that the thing one of his fears, and he used the term fear, was to lose a fight. Well, since then, AJ has lost several fights. You know, he's lost several fights. He lost to Andy Ruiz, and then he lost the two fights to Alexander Usyk. Very like technical fights, and then the way how he ended out of the fight when he was grabbing the mic and talking crazy. You know, so I don't know. Terms like mentally fragile pop up when you talk about AJ, and it's according to Malik Scott. We covered this on this channel. Malik Scott is telling Boxing 24 and other people that the deal between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is almost done. That was his verbiage, his terminology. You know? And I don't know, man. Even if that was the case and we bought that, Deontay Wilder versus an Anthony Joshua type of situation, I would have to go with Wilder and Joshua. I would have to go with Deontay Wilder, because even though I think Joshua gets some shots in on Wilder, sooner or later Deontay is going to land that right, and I think that will probably put Anthony Joshua on the ground like he does most of them big guys. Look what he did to Robert Helenius the last time he fought him. So crazy. But anyway, here we go. Here's finally Devin Haney. It gets to the stage. Him and Bill Haney, his father, get to the stage. So let's see what they got to say. We go.
Where's Evan?
Right here.
Go ahead.
So now we kick things off for opening comment with the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney.
Yeah, I just want to, say alhamdulillah, thank you Allah for this, opportunity. This is all a dream come true. I always dreamed of being on this big stage and, just being in big fights and fighting the best fighters in the world. And that's what I did tonight. I proved myself, and it feels surreal. All of this is surreal, but I worked hard for this since I was 7 years old. I put my all into this, and it's a blessing that everything has come full circle for me.
And before we get to questions from the media, I want to kick it over to Devin's head trainer and father, Bill Haney.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir. Takbir. All praises due to Allah. This has been a tremendous, tremendous night, a great event. Thank you to Bob Arum. Thank you to Jeremy Kriegel, John Hornhuer, all the guys that were behind the scenes that made this thing happen. It's been 4 years in the making. Shout out to Lomachenko and Team Lomachenko, a tremendous champion, a hell of a father and son duo. But tonight was our night, so I want to give a shout out to them and thank them. He's a hell of a champion and a future Hall of Famer. But tonight, one star has set and one star has risen, and I'm happy to say that the king of the boxing is here. It's Devin Haney. Yes. In the words of Teddy Atlas, who told Timothy Bradley one time, you got to be a fireman and you got to go through the fire. And that's just what Devin did. He showed his versatility. He fought the fight that the people wanted to see. Of course, he could have been on his back foot and jabbed and made it a strategy kind of night. But I think he took it to him, man, and I couldn't be no more proud of him.
Thank you, Bill. And now we're going to kick things over to the media for questions. Mike, over on the left.
Mike Hoppinger, ESPN. Devin, congratulations on a great victory.
Thank you.
I know it was an unpopular decision for some, but for me, you did amazing body work, and I don't know if a lot of people recognize that. How big do you think the body work was in this fight? Because it looked like Lomachenko's left flank was really red, and that you were digging those right hands in.
Yeah, the body work is what won me the fight tonight. I knew that I had to invest in that body. We watch a lot of tape on Loma. We knew that he didn't, he wasn't the biggest fan of body shots. So I stuck to the game plan. Was breaking him down, and that's why I felt like he was fighting in spurts. He would have some good moments during a round, but he wasn't finishing the whole round strong because me invested in the body.
Yeah, and were you worried at all about the decision, or were you pretty confident when you went back to the stool at the end that you won the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that it was a good fight. I was definitely, confident that I won the fight, but I knew that it was a close fight. Of course, he won rounds. I knew going into the fight that it wouldn't be an easy fight. I had to go through the fire to win. I knew Loma is a crafty veteran, and I couldn't just go in there and just jab and move around and use my distance. I knew that I had to take it to him and fight a fight that you guys haven't seen me ever fight before, and I felt like that's what I did tonight. And me being a fighter, me saying that I'm number one pound for pound. Some fights, not every fight is going to be pretty. Some fights you got to show versatility and different styles, and that's what's good about me is I could go through the fire. I can box. I can jab. I can invest in the body. I just show that me being a young vet in the game at 24 years old that I have experience in that ring.
And lastly, for me, I know 135. You've been making it for a long, long time since you're 16 years old. Do you see yourself pursuing a rematch with Lomachenko next, or are you trying to move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of big fights at the 135-pound division. We just got to see what's next. Obviously, every time no weight cut for me at 135 is easy. It takes a lot of discipline. I'm huge for the weight. I've been at 135 since I was 7 years old. So I'm just gonna go back and talk to my team and we'll see what's next. Maybe we do a fight at 140 and see how I feel. And keep the belts at 135 and come back at 135 and defend against a fight that makes sense. Or we'll just see. We might just stay at 135 and if everything makes sense, then we'll defend at 135. But I proved myself tonight against a future Hall of Famer that I'm the guy in the weight class. So it's like, how much more do you guys want me to prove? It's like you guys want me to keep proving until I can't prove anymore. I've been at 135 since I was 16 years old. I think we just got to see what's next. But eventually, I'm gonna move up.
To your right.
Devin, to your right. In reference to what you just said, do you feel like win or lose tonight against Loma that you took yourself up because this was by far the best opponent that you have faced in your career and you put a great performance on? And so do you feel like you made yourself at a higher level given who you beat relative to in the past?
Yes, of course. I fought by far the toughest competitor, a future Hall of Famer. I fought a different fight than you guys ever saw me fight. I took it to him, bested the body, hurt him to the body, showed my versatility in the ring. I feel like I've definitely, proved myself and that I am one of the best fighters in the world. And I feel like I'm number one pound for pound with the type of performance I did against at one point the guy who was number one pound for pound.
The other question I just wanted to ask you really quickly, I know punch stats don't mean a whole lot, but the stats were very close and punches landed. 5 rounds you outlanded him, 5 rounds Lomachenko outlanded you, and there were 2 that were even. So the fight was very close. Did you feel like you had to go out and win the 12th round to put a point on it that you won?
No, not necessarily. I knew that the fight was close, but I wanted to win every round. It wasn't just the 12th round where I felt like, I needed to win the round to win the fight. I knew that it was a close fight. So every round I was trying to win. I wanted to win every round. I didn't want to, it wasn't the 12th round that, really made me feel like I needed to win the fight. It was every round.
Right. Andreas L for Sport News. Devin, congratulations. The first question I have is the push at the weigh-in. A lot of people were very critical of that. They said that, maybe he got into your head. Can you talk about what was behind that push and did it the fight play out the way that you wanted it to following that?
Yeah, I mean, it's boxing, at the end of the day. There's a lot of emotion that goes on in the sport of boxing. I have nothing against Lomachenko. I take my hat off to him. I thank him for the opportunity. We put on a great fight for the fans. I have nothing but respect for him, his father, his whole team. So it was nothing disrespectful. It just was a lot of emotion built up. That's all.
one more for me. Shakur Stevenson is the one person who continues to say your name. He got into the ring and you guys exchanged some words. What was said there, and do you see you and him crossing paths at some point?
Yeah, I just said that I'm number one. I just let him know that I'm number one, and that's what he said for now. But right now I'm number one. So I didn't.
Bob ain't said his name.
I didn't. Yeah, Bob hasn't said his name at all. But
Bob ain't said his name. My phone ain't ringing.
But no, what's the name? Of course, I've been very vocal about that. Me and Shakur are on a collision course. Whether it's at 135, whether it's at 140, whether it's at 147, we definitely on a collision course, and we definitely gonna get it on when the time is right.
Devin, congratulations. I have a question. Given everything you go through to make 135, which you've admitted, short of a fight against one of those names you mentioned, or a Tank Davis or a Shakur, if those fights are not possible, would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, if I can't get those fights next, or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see though. I got to go back and talk with the team at the weight and see what makes the most sense. That's really all it boils down to. I'm very disciplined in the sport of boxing, in life in general. So that's how I've been able to make 135 for so long. But eventually, I'm gonna outgrow the weight, and it's getting to that point. But if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Devin over here. Okay. Devin, first of all, great fight. And let me ask you this with all my respect. What can you tell about the people's reaction? Because the people start yelling that Loma wins the fight. So the people knows boxing. And with all my respect, what can you tell about the people's reaction?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the people can say what they want to say. The judges had a unanimous decision, and that's so that's all that matters is the judges, and each judge was on the same page when it came to that decision. So I got the victory.
Hey, Big Rich for Blue Blood TV. Hey, Devin, do you think you would be a better fighter at 140 and you could hit harder at 140? Because you're already the best at 135. Ain't nobody touch you no matter what they say.
Yes, sir.
But at 140, would you be a better fighter?
Yeah, I mean, I think my body would be able to. My body would be able to relax more. I'll have more in my tank. Being at 140. Like I said, I got to push myself during training camp. It's hard for me to even take one day off because I'm focusing on my weight and focusing on being disciplined. So I think at 140 I'll be even better.
One more we got Sean over there.
Hey, congratulations, Devin, on retaining the titles, man. Team Gervonta Davis, because everyone talks about you and Davis fighting. That you got all the titles, you're the champ of the division, but they talk about being a draw too to make a fight happen. We didn't get the pay-per-view numbers yet, but the fight was sold out tonight. It was a great crowd. Do you feel like you answered the call when it comes on that aspect? And what do you think of that fight with Gervonta Davis just in general?
Yeah, I mean the numbers. I know when the numbers come out, the numbers did very well. Gate did very well. I proved that I'm a draw in the sport of boxing. I proved that the people want to see me. They come out, they support, and me and Tank is a massive fight, and it's gonna happen sooner than later.
On that note, thank you everybody for joining us today.
And I want to thank you all for coming and covering this fight, and I particularly want to thank the MGM being such great hosts. There's something magic about doing a fight at the MGM.
Yeah, and I want to thank Bob for giving me the opportunity. Thank you to Top Rank. They treated me so well. They did a tremendous job with the promotion, and I'm excited to see what's next.
Hey, good night. Enjoy. The ladies behind me are hungry.
All right. That's Devin Haney, man, and the rest of the team here, man, as they get off the stage. And you heard him, fam. It don't sound like it's going to be a second fight with Lomachenko. Devin Haney is approaching this one as that he did a really good job in the ring, and whatever happened with the scorecards, that was on the refs. And that's his approach. He's just gonna go on and say, yes, I beat one of the best fighters in the game, and we're just gonna just move on to the next level. And when the guy asked him about the second fight, he damn sure kind of tap dance around that one. He didn't, so it don't look like Lomachenko is gonna get a rematch with Devin Haney, at least not at 135. He did throw the little caveat at perhaps at a higher weight class or whatever the case may be, but I don't know. It don't sound like he'll be interested in doing anything with Lomachenko on the rematch. Look like he'll feel good like going through this thing like where it is, and I just think that's a shame, man. This should be a rematch, and he's playing it like, well, I did it. I beat the guy. What more do you want from me? We want you to do it decisively if you are who you say you are. You know, so he got the win on his resume. I guess that's what he's good with that. So you heard it from him. So we'll see how it all goes moving forward, man. But this could have been a lot more than what it was. So just kind of got by with this one, man. But anyway, with that being said, that'll be the end of this episode of Ring Kings Box. And I'd like to thank all of you guys for hanging out with me for an hour. Appreciate you guys. Please feel free to hit the like button. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button and share the show on your social media feed with other Ring King boxing enthusiasts and other boxing diehards. Once again, Haney gets the unanimous win over Loma, despite the controversy around the referees calling unanimous when it actually, to me, watching the fight, it looked closer to me like Lomachenko edged him. You know, but anyway, it is what it is, man. We're gonna skip out on that. Much love to the fam. I appreciate y'all, man, and I'm gonna holler at y'all in the next episode. Much love and peace.